we have a tendency to see a black person in position and we let our guards down around blacks and minorities, especially women. I crossed the line when I made you a part of my circle of friends. That was my fault, because you're black. That is definitely my fault. And it's a thing about African Americans, we have a tendency to gravitate to each other. I have a tendency, not that I'm racist.
I have a tendency, not that I'm racist.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is News Now Ninja, and today's video comes to you from Killeen, Texas, where the mayor, Debbie Nash, made some comments during an interview after having a disagreement with the local news reporter. And during that interview, she made some comments that upset some of the locals who have gone to reach out to redress their grievances.
Tier system as to who she wants to deal with based on skin color.
And because they've done so, she's now put rules in place, silencing free speech, making it where the people can only speak on agenda items. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments section. Let me know if you think as an elected official, she should care about all the people that she's serving equally. Remember that we all have the right to redress our grievances with public officials, and let's get straight to it.
Tax up here. It's not that I did anything wrong. And the reason I don't speak on non-agenda items is not that I'm weak, that I'm afraid, but that is beneath me.
We want to discuss here. Okay. Right there. Okay. Talk to our mayor. And we want to do this in a very civil way, okay? No screaming, no yelling, or anything like that, okay? Because if we do, we're going to break it up, all right? But we want to see what happened last night, where we can come to some kind of conclusion. Because in journalism school, they always teach you the reporter never gets involved with the story, okay?
Don't become the story.
I'm sorry. Don't become the story. And we have to become the story, okay? So what we have to do is figure out a way how we, a path of how we get out of this, okay? And satisfy everybody, okay? So we want to have a civil talk here. Okay. And respect everybody in this room, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, the mayor's already told us kind of what happened.
But, sir, out of respect, I think I owe him what I said to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Sure. This is just from your perspective.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind.
Sure.
Ricky, last night after the council meeting was over, I came down from the dais, and as I was headed toward our area, Mr. Paul stopped me. And he said, I wanted to do, I was going to stop you, I forgot the word, he said I was going to do a, repel it, what you said. And I said, excuse me? He said, we have our forum on the 27th, and you guys are going to have your budget meeting on the 27th. And I said, no sir, you misunderstood me. We having our budget meeting on the 15th at 12 o'clock. And I said, I knew that the forum was going to be on the 27th. And at that time, you were calm, you had your tripod, and anytime I'm wrong, you have the right to stop me. And you were coming with your tripod, and I was doing this to you to wave you. Mr. Wickerson was on the dais. You saw me. You turned to Mr. Wickerson, and you beckoned for him to come down. And Mr. Wickerson was turning to go out the back door. And he looked like this, and you said, come here, come here. Now by this time, where the mayor name is said, you were standing right there because the door is right there. So you had all your stuff on your way toward me. And by that time, as you was walking toward me, Paul was beckoning for you. And you was walking toward me. Wilkerson was coming down the way that we come off the dais. And by that time, you guys was getting ready to talk. I turned, because I had gotten at the door right here, correct me if I'm wrong, and I said, Mr. Green, come on, we on the time clock. Mr. Wilkerson saw me talking to you. You and him got in a conversation right here. By that time, I don't know what you were talking about. Other people came around you. I turned back on the door and looked at you again and said, Mr. Green, come on, it's late. And Paul was standing behind me and he was begging for you. You turned and looked at me and you had your tripod in your hand. How am I gonna get away from these people? You were smiling now. How am I gonna get away from these people? All these people around you. I said, Mr. Green, if you don't come on, I'm leaving. And I had a direct voice. This is the door, correct me if I'm wrong, and you were probably standing right here with the tripods, and Mr. Wilkerson was just looking. I walked out, me and Mr. Paul was in the foyer where we do our interview. And I sat there and waited, and I came back in and turned, and I said, I'm done. I am going home. I'm not waiting on you anymore. I said that. I turned around, got my stuff, because I had laid it down where we put our stuff and we get ready to do our little video. Paul was with me and we were walking out. And I said, I forgot my food because we had Black History. So I went back and got my plate they fixed for me. And as I was walking by you, talking to Mr. Wilkerson, because you had your tripod right here between your legs, just standing there. And when I walked past you, I said, Ricky, I'm done. You had it like you did this. I said, I'm done. I'm going home. By the time I got my food and came back out, you were talking to Mr. Wilkerson. And you would say, some people just rude, some people just disrespectful. I had passed by you and I had got to the doorway as if I was going out to go to my car. And I turned back to you and said, excuse me? Why do you think somebody's talking to you? This ain't gotta be about you. And then what really irked me, when you said, go and run and tell Paul. Like, are you serious?
Well, first of all, I want to start out by saying that for you, unfortunately, 100% of that story is not accurate. There's no truth to it. Your account is totally different from mine. Totally, 100%.
I respect
unfortunately
that.
For you. What you told was not accurate. That's not what happened. It's not what happened at all. When you came back, I was talking to Ken outside the foyer, outside in the hallway, and I was asking him about the social justice or the committee that he was on. The crime committee, and I said, I don't understand this. I don't. And then so at that point she heard me. She said, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to him. That's it. That's all I said. And then she went on. So the other stuff, I didn't say. I don't even know where that came from.
Mr. Gandy, can I say something?
Sure. Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, if I offended you in any kind of way with my words that I said to you in a playful way, forgive me and I'm sorry. That I give you. But let me tell you why I felt like we could play and talk like that. We talk on the phone all the time. We text each other.
I'll text you one. Happy birthday.
I have my phone.
Okay.
So I'm not doing all that. We have always been professional. And when I said the other day about your camera, I said, I'm gonna tell your boss and them they need to buy you a video. And you came back and said, Mayor, we can use these same phones to do a whole movie. People do that. And I said, oh, I didn't know that. As much as I can give out, you give it back to me. Because that is how, and that's my fault. That is my fault. That is definitely my fault. And it's a thing about African Americans, we have a tendency to gravitate to each other. We have a tendency to see a black person in position and we let our guards down. Because you're out there, you with me, we're seeing each other all the time. And I know that the city of Killeen did not like KDH. And even with Paul being a Native American, I have a tendency, not that I'm racist, but I have a tendency to put a shield around blacks and minorities, especially women of all colors. to protect them. So I crossed the line when I made you a part of my circle of friends. That was my fault. Because you're black. And be honest about it. Because you're a black man. I wanted you to be successful. And Janelle was African American. And Danielle, she's a woman. So people like that I gravitate to. Paul's not a big talker. You know, he was doing our interview the other day, and I was telling him made a statement. And this is me, because I gotta watch me. I let my guards down, and I can talk to you like a average person, not thinking from your perspective or anybody else's perspective. One thing, I've never crossed the line with you or anybody. That's just anybody tell you. As a reverend, I don't do stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, people, men from everywhere run up to me. I don't cross the line because my faith is so much important than anything else. And even yet when I was talking to Paul, we all was together, and I told Paul, don't mess up my picture. I'm one of the most eligible bachelorettes here in the city of Killeen, and y'all messing up my picture. Paul just laughed about it. There was no pun intended, because see, I did that. I just feel like I can just talk to you any kind of way. I can call Mr. Brooks and tell him everything I feel about the paper. Mr. Miller, I'm more closer to him when it comes to writing. I can tell him anything. I like it. I love him. I love his writing.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, you do me in sometimes. But that's just I am one of the most honest and transparent people. What you see is what you get. From the girl at McDonald's to our janitor. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, honey. I love what you have on. You're going to be good. They kids at McDonald's. They're just kids. But I've always been an encourager. But now, as a mayor, it's all my fault. No, not what happened last night. I still stand by what I said. But I'm saying how professionalism, I'm only focused on that. And that could be perceived from a person that I had already met you before the Snowball Express anyway. But that's no here, no there. And it's not a tip for tag. But I put myself from a professional perspective that you thought that I embarrass you and stuff. We play all the time, Rick.
Well, you play with me. I don't reciprocate that in front of people.
And I'm not going to
in front of people.
No, sir, Mr. Gaines. I'm a person. I believe in dialogue.
Okay, well, go ahead.
It may offend him if I cut him off. It doesn't offend him.
Okay.
That's the only person you grow and learn.
Okay.
Because it's not about me. It's about us getting an understanding. And I can't. I'm not going to say you lying, but I am going to say I'm disappointed.
So am I.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I am in favor of the motion.
Motion carries 7-0. Meeting adjourned.
It's good fascism up there.
We're going to take a 10-minute break to set up for our next meeting. Thank you all for coming.
Welcome to Killeen.